on him. He always been.
All his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting.
No lie, I'm telling you, this version of Tank is gonna be dangerous, bruh. If you know about boxing, come on, it is Gervonta Davis.
Gervonta Davis just lashed out at Floyd Mayweather after finding out he's been training accused of constantly putting him in lose-lose situations. The impact of Mayweather's guidance is already showing. H now moves with slick footwork, fires off clean combinations, and defends with pinpoint accuracy. He looks sharper than ever and fully locked in for battle.
I know what y'all gonna do. I go that way for a reason. Who's the recording?
Gervonta Davis has long dealt with manipulation and favoritism from Floyd Mayweather. What started as mentorship slowly turned into control. Those close to the situation have pointed out how Floyd often Gervonta Davis in positions that stifled his independence, preventing him from carving out his own legacy.
I had the weigh-in. So from his weigh-in, they meet us at the food spot. So from there, we go to the gym. So remind you, they already got this set up. Floyd already got it set up. He already posted on Instagram. It probably was like 100 people in there, and he turned the heat up. That's what Floyd do. He turned the heat up in the gym while you in there. So he turned the heat up. Boom. We spar, but while we sparring, Floyd is in the ring. Like every time I'm punching, Floyd like grab my hand, like yank it back. Whereas though I can't even punch Devin. So it was times that like
Mayweather's actions hinted at a desire to a reflection of himself, while still keeping him in his shadow. Mayweather had a habit of stepping in at key moments often right when Gervonta Davis's rhythm or landing clean shots each time started to take control. Floyd would pause the session or interfere, making it seem like Haney was the one being favored. What were supposed to be private sessions for growth turned into situations Gervonta Davis felt held back. The constant.
I catch Devin, boom, or I'm about to swing and Floyd like yank my hand back, or he'll push me to the ropes. Like he was actually like touching me while we were sparring. Like
why?
Like, he was, cause it was like Devin was his guy, cause Devin was training at his gym at the time. So, and he was training with his father. So, Devin was on. I mean, Floyd was on Devin's side.
Sounds
so
like
that's
a conspiracy to me.
Yeah, but later down the
interruptions left him feeling undermined by the very man who was supposed to be helping him rise. Gervonta Davis began to see his relationship with Floyd Mayweather not as a true partnership, but as a carefully controlled setup. What initially seemed like support gradually revealed itself to be manipulation. Gervonta Davis.
A couple months, no, this was recently, not recently, but probably like 2 years ago, I asked Devin to like come to like spar me. He was like, no, I ain't no sparring partner. I had somebody
Notice that Mayweather consistently positioned himself at the center of every major decision, whether it was selecting opponents, organizing fight promotions, or managing media appearances. Rather than empowering Gervonta Davis build his own brand and legacy, Floyd appeared more interested in keeping control over his trajectory. Every move seemed calculated to ensure remain dependent on Mayweather promotion.
He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So it's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit.
Gervonta Davis. In popularity and skill, he often found himself boxed into situations that benefited Mayweather more than himself. This included matchmaking that didn't always align with Davis's career goals, and media strategies that kept the spotlight.
Terrence Crawford should fight. Benavidez. That don't make no fucking sense. You don't never want to see nobody be better than him. I'm telling you.
You was next in line. You saw you next in line.
Is there like a
Last question, guys. Got to wrap
is there
up.
like a love-hate or like fighter?
Yeah, I love the fighter. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if he was like chill, like he'll be the smoothest.
Light on Floyd. Even during Davis's moments of triumph, the more Davis saw these patterns, the more his trust in Mayweather began to erode. What should have been a mentor-protege dynamic began to feel like a power struggle instead of.
But he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. And my bad. Cause I don't want to say like he's just a scumbag, but it's like he's a great fighter, and sometimes he can be good, but it's like.
Feeling guided, Davis felt restricted, fueling a growing sense of resentment and a desire to finally take control of his own path outside of Mayweather's shadow.
Necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know.
Gervonta Davis just lashed out at Floyd Mayweather after finding out he's been training accused of constantly putting him in lose-lose situations. The impact of Mayweather's guidance is already showing. H now moves with slick footwork, fires off clean combinations, and defends with pinpoint.
It's good for them to do it and become their own boss. And then if another guy does it, it's not good for the sport. He's disloyal. And what's wrong with Tank saying he want to be his own boss? And honestly, I've been there. The relationship between them two is very toxic. It's a toxic relationship. It's up and down and up and down. And I'm not going to elaborate to everything that I know, but it's a very toxic relationship. And that's why when I tweet stuff, I don't tweet often, but when I tweet, I may fire off.
On dealt with manipulation and favoritism from Floyd Mayweather. What started as mentorship slowly turned into control. Those close to the situation have pointed out how Floyd often Gervonta Davis in positions that stifled his independence, preventing him from carving out his own legacy.
June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I mean, I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round, but as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds,
Mayweather's actions hinted at a desire to a reflection of himself, while still keeping him in his shadow. Mayweather had a habit of stepping in at key moments often right. When Gervonta Davis, his rhythm or landing clean shots each time started to take control, Floyd would pause the session or interfere, making it seem like Haney was the one being favored. What were supposed to be private sessions for growth turned into situations.
Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, hey, bruh, be on that. Because here's the thing. He never hurt Roach. Roach just waited. And Roach was squared up and turned sideways. And I'm like, oh my God. I didn't think he had that. He was like, I'm like, oh my. And then he just sitting there like, you can't. I know what you're going to do because I've trained with you since we were kids. Tarver beat Roy, but he knew Roy since amateurs. Roy said
Gervonta Davis felt held back. The constant interruptions left him feeling undermined by the very man who was supposed to be helping him rise. Gervonta Davis began to see his relationship with Floyd Mayweather.
Lamont Roach in preparation for his bout with Gervonta Davis. First, what did you think of the fight?
What did I think of the fight? It's a little different for me because it's definitely a point of bias there.
Wait, let me put out a disclaimer. He's from Baltimore.
Definitely, I mean, East Baltimore all day. But I'm looking at it from a point of bias because his dad, Ben Johnson Sr. and all them guys that was down there, the coaches Tim and everything like that, they all good people. So
whether not as a true partnership, but as a carefully controlled setup. What initially seemed like support gradually revealed itself to be manipulation. Gervonta Davis noticed that Mayweather consistently positioned himself at the center of every major decision.